Okay. Checking levels. Friends, if you would be so kind as to speak for me. Hopefully everyone can hear you.
Hello.
Hello.
I am a human.
Okay, yes. It does seem like everybody is audible. Folks in chat, we should be able to see you directly above my head. Please sound off if you are here. I would love to know that we are audible and that we are actually live. I get paranoid about these things. Dee Vampire Lady is here, and look, sent a little heart across the screen. Just one of the many tiny new services that we are offering. I am putting this in your hands, chat. I'm sure you will be perfectly reasonable with it. I am moving chat around. So, welcome back. It is great to see everybody. It is great to see all of your faces. I want to check in really quick and do a quick what happened last time, because I seem to remember last time being a little bit on the eventful side. For better and worse. I seem to recall that being a thing.
Last time on the Shadow Citadel.
Yes. Can we start with our newest player, Gale? What was a moment from last time that you remember? You can start at the beginning or just pick one that you really liked.
Towards the end, where we went back down the spider route and ran into, surprise, more spiders. That was we should have known.
Your volume is a little teensy bit low for me.
Yeah, you're pretty low.
Is this better with the mic closer? Or?
That was clearer.
I can hear you fine.
Yeah. With the mic closer, it was certainly clearer.
Okay, I'll work on that.
Good stuff. Yes. Okay. So I missed what you just said. I'm afraid. One more time. Oh damn! She took her headphones off. So I actually missed what you said. Unfortunately, Gale.
There were spiders.
Oh right. Right. The surprise box of spiders. Yes.
And we went back to the spiders.
Well, we tried the spider hall, discovered it was full of spiders, turned around, went to the goblin hall, found it was full of goblins, turned around, went back down the spider hall, and found more spiders.
It's funny. The module sets up this really nice 1-2 punch of reward trap with the first fountain that, if you speak the words in Draconic, fills up with a fire-breathing potion, right? And then it provides another somewhat similar thing later on. And of course, Meepo is entirely happy to do the same thing he did before, and it did not have the same effect this time.
No, unfortunately.
And it turned out that it was being used as a honeypot by a horrible pair of giant spiders.
Yep.
An entire nest of them, in fact. You all killed about a half a dozen spiders overall, I think.
So, lesson learned: if we find anything written in Draconic, we ask Meepo to translate it, not speak it.
Or we do exactly what we did last time and learn nothing.
Speaking of learning nothing, Em, would you tell us a little bit about anything that was fun or happened from Hyacinth's perspective?
Let's see. Hyacinth decided to forget that traps exist because Em forgot that traps exist. You play enough rogues that don't believe in traps, and then you stop reminding yourself that traps. So let's see. Hyacinth pulled a ever-burning torch off a wall and ended up in a pit. It was fine. Nothing bad happened because of it. I literally took 0 damage. No, I took 1, but whatever.
You
didn't
fell
check
into a pit, but...
the fountain for traps. That was cool too. Yeah. I died because of a bard.
I do recall that.
I almost died because of a bard.
Speaking
that
of
bard
a bard,
also healed you.
You will get your chance to speak. In fact, I believe it's your chance to speak now. Let's talk about Clarion. Clarion was a very big figure in the last game, if I recall properly.
Clarion Clarion did not know quite what that spell did. And that's partly because I didn't really understand. I mean, I understood, but I didn't understand. Let's be that way. I understood that it was going to cause some damage to my party, but I was thinking it would like wipe out, like make it a lot, because there were so many things coming in the other. I did not realize I was going to party wipe.
Ariana, welcome.
It was a very powerful spell.
I do want to make really quick. I'm going to cut in
because it was Thunder Wave and not Thunder Strike.
Right.
And so we were actually using the wrong rules, and it would not have actually affected as many people as it would have, because it was a sphere, not a.
Yes.
But still.
We did have a small rules miscalculation, which happens at times. I said so in session 0 several times. It was a very small,
most of the same people.
It was a very small thing. It's that Thunder Wave makes a 15-foot cube, not a 15-foot radius. So it still would have affected multiple enemies and friends, but it would not have affected as many as it did. I'm totally fine with the way it went down. I think it was a great scene. I think that the aftermath was fantastic. And I think that it really brought a lot of character very quickly to this team. So I'm actually really glad that we made that rules mistake, if I'm being honest.
The idea is that Clarion had never done that spell before. And that's okay. So I do believe that I put my flaw as is sometimes not really. I need my. Sorry. There's problems that I have when my.
Can you all see the map, by the way?
Yes.
I can see it. Yes,
Okay,
I had
good.
to move it out of the
Good.
way.
Yes, can see it.
Lionar, welcome. Nathaniel, welcome.
Happen.
I can't remember that this has flaws in it, or was that a different character I had to do that had flaws?
Your flaw is using an area of effect spell in close quarters with friends.
Yes.
That sounds right.
Just call it friendly fire, and we can move on.
Friendly fire.
Putting the friend in friendly fire. Yes.
Putting the friend in friendly fire.
Maybe
Clarion,
the real treasure. Maybe the real treasure is the friendly fire we made along the way.
Clarion is a little bit impulsive, a little bit like he pays attention, but the problem is what he's paying attention to isn't always what is happening, or what he understands is happening isn't always what is supposed to be paid attention to. Clarion is a lot like me.
Jeff, I seem to recall you being the one most who had to deal with the cleanup of that particular effect, because you were one of the only people still standing after that spell was cast.
I am super happy that sleep is a very good AoE spell.
My favorite thing about sleep is that it targets your friends.
No, it doesn't. Explicitly doesn't.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Psychanthrope, welcome.
It explicitly says
Damn, no.
because it says people I choose, and if you fall asleep, it's because I told you to.
That was really and it's hit point based, and there's no save. So if you do a bunch of damage to a bunch of little things, then you know that you're going to catch a bunch of them in sleep, and then you can just it's time honored tradition.
It's effective. It's effective, and I love it. That said, I could use fewer thunder waves in the future. Thank you.
Maybe farther away.
Really quickly,
At least, or let me enjoy it from the audience distance. That sounds fine.
Yes. So the clarification there is that you have to be more than 5 feet away, and you're fine.
It was not the worst of Clarion's performances I've ever seen. I can say that.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. That is true.
There was session. It was session
actually
1.
a fantastic song. It went over really well, and so did everybody else.
And so to that end, I love my dear friend Clarion very, very much. That is what Calder is reminding himself.
Constantly, just like I love this person. I love this person. I love this person.
This could not have been the first time I have done something this stupid, though.
Oh God, no.
If we've been together at least a month, and how, Hyacinth has known me for a long time.
Yep.
The problem is that
is this the stupidest thing you have done? No. Is it on the list? Yes.
I'm pretty certain it's not the stupidest thing, but now I'm gonna have to come up with the stupidest thing.
We'll get there.
I
am much more
down the
interested
loot.
in our 2 adopted small humanoids.
That's also true. That's also true. You seem to have a habit of collecting small size humanoids.
Between Meepo and our goblin that inexplicably Barnabas seems to like, so that's a positive.
Barnabas liked enough to walk away instead of decapitating it immediately.
Hey, Barnabas,
it's
progress.
It's all we can ask of him.
It is progress.
Barnabas cut the goblin free. That means he is an impeccable judge of character.
So before we go any further, I do have a couple of other rules clarifications I want to make. I'm going to do this at the beginning of every session. If there's any rules calls that I was unclear about, or if I got right or wrong specifically, I'll bring them up right now. The second one, I just wanted to confirm that yes, at one point, Dissonant Whispers was being used to target a spider that I believe it was Clarion, yes, could not see. And that is indeed, so long as you know what square it is in, which we could figure out one way or the other, but you explicitly do not need line of sight because, and that makes sense because it's an audio-based attack. So we got that one right. And then, Jeff, you suggested a house rule for things like Thunderwave that are going to shove enemies around. And if you would like to go ahead and let us know what that ruling is, I think I agree with your assessment.
It is a house rule that I've encountered before that I happen to agree with. It's the idea is that when one is shoved, whether by an effect, often Dungeons and Dragons takes place inside of dungeons. So there's a bunch of enclosed spaces, hallways, and the like, and so it's a bunch of dynamic movement, and you are shoved X quantity of feet. If you're being shoved 30 feet back in a 10-foot hallway, that would mean you would stop at the wall. But normally the game, as with rules as written, says that just happens. No damage, no extra damage is done, and I prefer exciting rules. So the idea of any excess footage that you would have traveled, but the wall, got in the way of, essentially acts as falling damage. So if you would fly back 30 feet, go back 10, that means you would take damage as if you had fallen 20 feet because that force went into a stone wall and your spine.
Yeah, the excess force is instead converted into damage if it can't be converted into distance at a rate of 1d6 per 10 feet, just like falling. I think that is absolutely fair, and we will be enacting that going forward.
It also gives really good dynamic options for creative use of spells, and I like that.
Absolutely. Okay, so does anybody have any questions or comments or anything before we go to the game board? That goes to you too, chat.
We did have one rules clarification because we got a effect wrong.
What was that effect we got wrong?
The famous Thunderwave.
Oh, what was the effect?
It is a 15-foot cube.
Oh yeah, I mentioned that one.
Yeah, he just did
we're
that.
good.
Okay. I forgot that one.
All good. Yeah, we got that. Okay. Ariana is asking questions about physics, and that's actually really good because a lot of the time people try to use physics in a D&D sense, and let's recall that things like conservation of energy and other like physics constants here don't necessarily apply in Faerun. DD Vampire Lady, if you take extra fall damage, would you take extra push damage?
No.
So like if you are brittle for some reason and take extra damage from falling, then I would say yes, you would take extra damage from that push as well, if that's what Vampire Lady was saying. Gust of Wind is now a lethal spell, and in fact, Gust of Wind is a lethal spell, in anywhere that you're, on a ledge of some sort. So yeah, Gust of Wind is a pretty nasty one. So yes. I'm sure the players won't abuse that at all. And if we do need to renegotiate or something later, if something breaks the game, then we can do that. That's the nice thing about, DMing by open communication. It's a thing.
I'm just saying, I trust us.
I trust PCs about as far as you trust your dice. Anyway, let's go ahead and get in the game.